Good evening, Geckophiles and Cinephiles across the globe. Welcome back to the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast, the official podcast for the movies Matrix. I'm Lo, representing Northern California of the USA. Back with us from his trip over on the East Coast, we got Ryan, Mr. Bat Nipples. How are you doing, sir? How was your trip?
Well, what's going on, guys? It was really fun, a nice, relaxing week finally. But now we're back at it. We got some awesome, amazing stuff to talk about. But you know what? The most favorable thing that happened to me like a week and a half ago, because I can't do math at this point in my life, because was Borat 2 finally came out, my dude. And if anyone knows me, I picked that in the comedy draft, and I absolutely love Borat, the first film, and Sacha Baron Cohen is hilarious. This has been Sacha Baron Cohen season. Between this and the Trial of the Chicago 7 have been phenomenal. 2 acting jobs, one more drama driven and one more comedical driven. But I gotta say, I was surprised at how political Borat got. It said a lot of things and showed a lot of things to people about the American government system, and a bunch of inside drama stuff about Sacha Baron Cohen being attacked filming this movie at some Trump rallies or Biden rallies, whichever one it was. And dude, it's just insane seeing what went into filming this. Oh, they also filmed it during the pandemic. Like, bro, what type of nonsense is going on here? But I don't think it completely lives up to the first one, because the first one felt a little bit more raw and authentic, like more of a documentary and less staged. Like that movie had more real reactions from what he was doing. And in this movie, it was more self-aware of what happened in the first movie. So they try to play on that a little bit in this film, but personally didn't work too much for me. But I really love the new stuff they did with his daughter, and all the political propaganda, whatever you want to call it, in this film is fantastic as well. And I completely recommend this film, because I'm sure everyone has Amazon Prime at this point in our lives, and it's free for anybody that has it. So please go check it out for anybody. But Lo, what did you think about this film if you've seen it?
I'm gonna be honest, brother. Nothing against Sacha Baron Cohen. Like I mentioned in the comedy draft, or I believe when we first talked about the news of this movie, I think I was talking about how I thought Ali G in the house was funny, but I didn't see the first film. I didn't see this second one because I thought I should watch the first one first. So I'll get back to you, brother.
That is really depressing. But
but you know, with that being said, man, we can go on to some stuff that I am really excited about.
What's that?
So Netflix released a trailer for George Clooney's The Midnight Sky, set to premiere in select theaters and on Netflix in December 23rd. I thought the trailer was pretty much like a marriage between the existential like loves and themes of Interstellar, the passion there, and also the hope or hopelessness in a sense of Ad Astra. The teetering on between hope and hopelessness. Where does the human race go? The cast looks incredible. We finally get to see, what's her name, Felicity Jones from Rogue One. I thought she's wonderful in that film, and I haven't seen her in a much else. George Clooney starring and directing. I like his work as a director. He did Good Night, Good Luck. I think he did The American as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. The cast looks fantastic. I think the premise is going to be really exciting. Netflix is they're really gearing up for their award season. From between this and Mank and the Trial for Chicago 7, Netflix is, they're going for the awards, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Lo. This movie looks really cool. I respect George Clooney as an actor, obviously, and I think he also directed The Descendants, if I'm corrected.
I think you're right, yeah. And like Up in the Air, I think he get nominated. He won an Academy Award for that one, right?
Yeah, for both of them, I'm pretty sure. And this looks phenomenal. I actually didn't know it was coming out on Netflix this year, so that just makes it that much more better, especially when Wonder Woman gets pushed back again. Just want to say we're gonna have a nice movie around that time to watch. But what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, the Netflix Oscars. Yeah. I want to say they're just gonna sweep the floor this year. They have a lot of good contenders to see what else comes out because they got that new Shia LaBeouf film that premiered at a few film festivals that they just bought the rights to, and Amazon's got some good stuff. So they're gonna sweep the floor without a lot of the big blockbusters that came out this year. So I definitely predict that. But without further ado, we got some more Marvel news that I'm pretty excited for. So they finally casted Moon Knight for their Moon Knight Disney Plus TV series, and it's Oscar. I'm sorry, but excuse my language. Fucking Isaac, my guy is awesome. I've never really pictured Oscar Isaac in a superhero-esque role, especially watching him as Apocalypse kind of put a bad taste in my mouth of him in a comic book film like that. But I love him in the Star Wars films. Bro, Ex Machina is fantastic. Dude, he's just a fantastic actor with Annihilation also and everything else. And I just can't wait to see this show. I've been hyped for it, but now that they got Oscar Isaac, I can't wait. What do you think, Lo?
Oscar Isaac is a brilliant actor. It's just nice to see him get more mainstream work. To be fair, I saw a tweet saying how like if he would have came out and like if he was acting in like the era of like De Niro and Pacino, he could be doing so much more. But the state of films and cinema right now doesn't allow him to, for whatever reason, one way or another, he doesn't get the roles I feel like he should be getting. The type of best actor, legendary, iconic performances that like De Niro and Pacino made their names on, like Scarface. Taxi Driver. I love Oscar Isaac. I think he's charismatic. I love his charisma as Poe Dameron in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I hated that. I feel like he was a little bit slighted. Both him and John Boyega. There was so much potential with what Poe and Finn could have been, and I feel like ultimately it was left lacking. And Ex Machina, like you said, he was great in that. I haven't seen the rest of his filmography, like all the way top to bottom, but overall, besides Apocalypse, he's just great. I don't know about you, but I'm not terribly familiar with Moon Knight's history as a character. I'm familiar with him. Like I saw him in a few comics, but I don't know his story. I believe it's Mark Spector, right?
Yeah. And this has been a big conversation about this character because a big thing about his character is he's Jewish. So a lot of people were trying to cast an actor of Jewish descent, and that was a whole big factor. And I don't know if Oscar Isaac is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't really want to say anything that I don't know about. But yeah, I think this is great.
He's Latino, and I think one of his parents is Jewish, like his father's side. So it's not like he's not.
Okay, so I think a lot of people would be happy with this pick. I think everyone is happy with this pick. I've not seen like a bad comment yet about this picture, but
ultimately haters gonna hate. That's what it is.
Totally.
So, going from a charismatic Oscar Isaac, we actually have a brand new biopic on its way. The late, great David Bowie. The film will be called Stardust. They just released a trailer starring Johnny Flynn as David Bowie. The trailer kind of had gotten mixed reviews. Some people think it looks interesting. Some people thinks it looks bland. I haven't even seen Rocket Man. What do you think about the trailer for this?
Dude, it looks so bad. I'm sorry. I had
to hear what your thoughts were, man.
This movie looks so bad. I'm sorry for saying this about the guy, whoever's playing David Bowie, Johnny Flynn or whatever. Dude, you're not David. I don't see David Bowie in this, dude. He looks so like weird, but not in the David Bowie weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like David Bowie is known for his weird aesthetic, but this dude just doesn't have that touch. It's just hard to explain, but this looks awful. And apparently this has none of his music in it because they couldn't get the copyright for it.
Really?
You did not know that? Yes.
No, I like David Bowie, but I'm not like the biggest fan, and I wasn't like researching the film to a T. So that's crazy. That's actually that's a deal breaker for me. Like that's highly disappointing.
Even worse, yeah.
So
But honestly, we're going back and forth about Stardust because it really doesn't look good to the both of us. But you know what does look good to all of us? The Mandalorian season 2 finally made its debut this past Friday. And man, what an episode. It was quite a long episode. I think it might have been its longest episode to date. Out of all 9 episodes, this might have been the longest one. I'm indifferent on it. I really liked all the scenes with him and Timothy Oliphant's character, but then there's scenes I don't like when they're not together. I don't dislike it, but it's more fun when they were together rather than the Mandalorian being by himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you think about this episode though, Loretto?
So interestingly enough, I saw it like at 4 a.m. So I saw it through foggy, tired lens. I was a huge fan of the first season, like almost everybody else, I believe. Like I don't know anyone that really hates the Mandalorian unless they're a troll. But I just saw the season 1 premiere again. I was kind of like whetting my appetite for more, and I was like, I was trying to recap, right? So I was like, all right, let's go through season 1 all the way through. And just looking at the very first premiere, when I put them side by side, I feel like the second one did fall a little short. I didn't get enough interaction with the child, and comparing it to the first one had Warner Herzog. It introduced Grieve Karga. It introduced Khalil, and no worries, John Williams. This will be spoiler free. It's not a full review. You can check out our review on Movies Matrix if you really want to dig in there. Moviesmatrix.com. Our boy, Mr. Crockpot Dives, he did a really good review on the season 2 premiere. But yeah, I didn't like hate it. Timothy Oliphant was fantastic. The creature work was great. The effects looked great. But I just felt like it was lacking. It just didn't have enough punch as the first episode did. Like the first episode had the monster in the intro, had Khalil at the end, and the child reveal, I think, was just such an epic reveal that even the showing Boba Fett at the end of this episode wasn't quite enough. Damn it, I said I wasn't going to spoil it. Anyways, pretend you guys didn't hear that. Did you hear that right? You're on mute, bro.
I don't ever put myself on mute, bro.
For shame.
Nah, dude, that was the first time I've ever done that. But yeah, dude, that was quite the spoiler. But yeah, it was a nice episode. Nothing really too much happened. I was expecting a lot more leading from the end of the first season, the finale, like with what's his name in the dark saber. I was expecting a little bit more of that, more Mark Toth, however you pronounce. I'm really bad at pronouncing his name.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon, yeah. And then Cara Dune's character. So I was expecting more of that. And I was hoping for a little bit more of that because I think their marketing for the show is really weird. They show Grand Moff and Cara Dune a lot, like really often in the trailers, but neither one of them are really in the show that often. So I'm really confused if they're really main characters in the show or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I was surprised they didn't show Moff Gideon at all. I thought we would at least get like a short clip of where he's at, but you know, I'm sure they're saving it. So overall, it was more good than bad. The Western vibe was awesome, though, man. It was like Timothy Oliphant in full Justified mode. I'm not sure if you watched that show.
I never watched it, but I heard about it. Yo, he looks really skinny in this episode. Is it just me?
He's in shape, man. Maybe I don't know if he went vegan or something, but hey, he looks good.
I don't know, but
with that being said, in honor of the Mandalorian 2 season 2 premiere, we did our first ever Build Your Crew game over here on the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast. We had Mike go up against Dibes, and I had them build their respective crews. They had to pick a pilot, a specialist, a leader, and a wild card. And after an epic Twitter battle, Twitter had it tied after 2 days, I believe, 50%. I did another tiebreaker today, and Mike ran away with it. So with that being said,
let's get him in.
Congratulations to Mike. You can follow him at MCAMIT23. His crew was Luke Skywalker as a pilot. He had, who was it? K2SO as his wild card, Obi-Wan Kenobi as his leader, and Sabine Wren as his specialist. Such an epic team. Congrats to Mike. And going from Build Your Crew, we have another all-new segment. we will be doing our first ever live action red pill, blue pill debate. And here to join us from the movie's Matrix, we have Amanda. How you doing, Amanda?
Good. Thanks for having me, Lo.
Thanks for coming on. And on the other side, representing the blue pill, we have Gabe. How you doing, brother? I think you're on mute,
bro. You're on mute, bro.
Oh, is that better? What's up,
All right,
team?
so it's
Nice
pretty
to see you.
straightforward. As many people on Twitter. How you doing, Gabe? Sorry. Glossed over your intro there.
Good, happy to be here, ready to kick everybody's ass in this.
Everybody's meaning me, but okay. Cool.
All right, so what we're going to do, I'm sure as everyone has seen on Twitter, and for those that haven't, red pill, blue pill was a popular meme that just flooded the internet with different questions like, oh, what was better, this movie or this movie? Inception versus Interstellar and stuff like that. Dark Knight versus the original Batman, anything. People were just putting two films up against each other. And I thought it'd be fun to do a red pill, blue pill on Star Wars in honor of the Mandalorian premiere again. So, Amanda, what film will you be defending?
Oh, man. Okay, so to start off, I am not a diehard Star Wars fan, and I told Lo this. But I had to watch the movies or else my geek card would have been revoked and it just wouldn't be a good look. Okay. So I watched them. I do like them. They're a lot of fun. I got really invested in, The Force Awakens and that entire story arc of that trilogy, only to be disappointed with The Rise of Skywalker. But I will be choosing Solo, a Star Wars story, as my underrated fave. I had a lot of fun. Ron Howard as a director he's just incredible. I really love him. And his action sequences are really cool. It just felt really refreshing and different from what I've seen. Just gave me a different feeling. And Alden Ehrenreich was fantastic as Solo. I thought he did a really great job. He kind of brought his own persona, his own charm. He didn't really mimic Harrison in that way. So I thought he did a great job. And it was great. And the Kessel Run is something that I will always remember. It's a moment that I watched in IMAX 3D with my best friend. And we turned to each other during that scene and we were really just blown away. He couldn't stop talking about it afterwards. So it felt like the 12-year-old kid in me just came out and it was just great to watch that on the big screen. Donald Glover was great. Emilia Clarke was great. And yeah, it's just an underrated fave and people should really just appreciate it more. It kind of won a Disney Plus series if they're not going to do a trilogy for him. So yeah.
Admittedly, I wasn't the biggest fan of Solo, but it has grown on me a little bit over time, a little bit more each time I've seen it. I've seen it 3 times now. But with that being said, that's Amanda's red pill, Solo, a Star Wars story. And on the blue pill, what you got for us, Gabe? What are you defending today?
I'm going to defend the movie that I watched when I was 10 years old in theaters. And it was, to me, my introduction to loving Star Wars. Because before this movie, to me, Star Wars were just really old movies. And I know I was too good, but, I was 8 years old or whatever. Can you guys hear me?
You sound good, man.
Yeah, okay, great. Sorry, yeah, okay. So this movie came out and after really trying hard to love the Star Wars movies. I liked some things, but just if you're a kid, movies made in the 70s and the 80s, they just felt slow, right? So then The Phantom Menace came out and it just changed Star Wars to me. It was the perfect kind of movie for me at that age, and I think I've managed to still love it despite all the online hate that it's gotten. Well, online right now, but before it was just word of mouth because people have really hated it for years. But it's a movie that works as a really big adventure. It has a hero for everybody. I liked Obi-Wan, and my friend, one of my best friends, like Jin. So when we played together, he was one, I was the other, right? Then the pod race is amazing. It's got a lot of things going for it, and I get why some people don't like it, but I think it just doesn't deserve to be hated the way it is right now.
Awesome. So, Amanda, do you have any reason why you hate it? Have you seen The Phantom Menace?
Yes, I watched The Phantom Menace. I had to watch The Phantom Menace. I didn't like it. But Gabe, like, you raised valid points. I can't say that. If you enjoyed it, that's totally great. I have nothing against it. It's just it's not one of my favorites. So it's
And
not that
Gabe,
bad.
you've seen Solo, right?
Yes.
Would you say The Phantom Menace is a better film?
Yes. I mean, with Star Wars, I've gotten to the point that I don't want to criticize anybody for liking one of the movies that I don't like, because people crap on The Rise of Skywalker too much, and it just like put me off Star Wars for a long time. So I don't want to say Solo is garbage, but it's definitely.
But you're saying Solo is garbage. It's okay. You can say it.
No. No,
you're saying
no,
it. It's okay, but you're saying it.
No. I think Solo is a movie that has absolutely no reason to exist. Like I said, the Kessel Run, I mean, yeah, it was fine. I don't remember it. To be honest, I don't remember most of the movie, but also because most of it is really dark. I don't know why they chose that cinematography, but you can't really see a lot of what's happening. And I think that's an objective criticism. That's not, I like it or I didn't like it. I think the cinematography was a mistake. But we're gonna go back and forth a bit more, I assume. So I'll start with the reason to exist as my first argument why I don't like it. And I think is just it doesn't add anything to the character of Han Solo, and it's because the main problem that movie had, and I was curious how they would handle it, is that Han Solo's arc is fulfilled on A New Hope when he realizes, you know what, I'm not this, scoundrel, and I'm not just this thief. Like, I can actually, help my friends and save the galaxy, and he fulfilled it at the end of the movie. So how are you going to manage that with a young Han Solo who is a scoundrel, and that's the way he is? But then by the end of Solo, he also becomes realizes that he's going to help those people with the helmet, or I don't remember. So I just think that it's a movie with absolutely nothing, nothing that justifies his existence, except for the fact that somebody was like, "Oh, you like Han Solo, right? Let's give you a movie about him." And even some of us, I know I was when they released the first look of Donald Glover as Lando, he looked awesome. Like the man could sport, those clothes, and he had I think a furry coat on or something. Like, he looked great. He did not act. I mean, he didn't do anything with that role, and he's such a talented actor. That was pretty surprising.
I think he
so
nailed
I'll start with that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I think he nailed the role. I think they both did. They brought something different to it. It was kind of refreshing, and you have to they were younger versions of these characters. But to go back, story-wise, Star Wars doesn't have strong story. Storytelling is fine, but the actual the whole story over 9 films or 6 films, the originals and the prequels, I never thought it had strong storytelling. That's just the way I felt. And with Solo, for me, going to watch a Star Wars film, it's all about fun at this point, because with the prequel films, there was so much political jargon that I didn't really care about, and I kind of got lost in all of that, and that's why I don't really like the prequels that much, because of all that. And the action scenes are always wicked, so I will give every single Star Wars film, the action sequences are amazing. That is a given. They're so good. But the storytelling is where it lacks, because it's all over the place. You have different ways to watch it. You have it in chronological order to watch. You have it in machete order to watch it. It's all over the place. So I think Solo, by itself, I enjoyed it, even though it is a prequel, and it's technically a standalone as well. But I just enjoyed it that way, if that makes sense.
Mr. Batnibbles, are you still with us?
What?
Are you still
I
with us?
thought he was frozen.
Yeah. No.
Hey, real quick, let's jump into some comments. But which between those two films do you prefer? Do you have a stance?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yes, you, Mr. Bat
Oh,
Nipples.
I thought you were asking one of them. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what their stances are already. I don't know why we're re-asking them. What the hell? But anyway, dude, this is an easy one, dude. Phantom Menace all day, every day. Solo shite. Second worst, right above Rise of Skywalker. But Phantom Menace is third worst, so I can't really say too much. So you guys definitely chose the bottom of the barrel, which I completely expected and I completely appreciate at the same exact time. But you know what? No one can say or try to convince me that the lightsaber battle at the end of Phantom Menace is straight fire, dude. Instant classic.
He said it.
Instant classic. I'm going to leave it at that. What about you, Loretto, between these two movies?
I'm gonna be honest. So I'm not part of the Make Solo 2 movement like our guy Andy. Thank you for coming on the show, bud. Let me show Gabe's lovely face there. Here's my thing. So, like I said, I wasn't crazy about Solo when it came out, and I think ultimately, Gabe hit some strong points. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that show on ESPN where there's a debate and the host like clicks points and gives out points. I would shoot him some points for that because I feel like if they would have taken Solo and made a series from the get-go, honestly, they probably should have done a Lando series. I think if they would have done a Lando series with just Donald Glover and his droid, that would have been amazing. And then have Han Solo cameo. But I just feel like there were so many things to Han Solo that I just feel like we didn't need to know. I didn't need to know how he got his name. I thought that that scene I cringed so hard. And I liked the use of the dice in The Last Jedi. But I didn't like the overabundance of it in Solo. And like he had to run and had to grab the dice and he gave it to Amelia Clark and was like, I will find you. And it just felt a little bit too sappy for my taste, especially considering how like badass and cool Harrison Ford played it later. Like you could tell it felt like he didn't like care about like women. No offense, like I'm not to girls or that. Just he had that persona like, oh, you guys don't mean nothing to me. But then in Solo, it's like they make him almost like a romantic. And I thought that was a little bit of clash of his characters. So I thought it was an interesting way to write him, but I just didn't care for it. And let me see real quick. I want to touch on this. I was pissed when this first happened. I love Darth Maul. In the Phantom Menace, coincidentally, he's amazing, and he was gone in seconds due to George Lucas's decision. But to throw him into Solo, I felt was like literally like, hey guys, look who's in this movie. Ta-da! It was like a magic trick. It felt gimmicky, so to say.
It felt like a reward after watching the movie because I knew it was trash.
But yeah, ultimately, if I had to choose, I would choose the Phantom Menace. I admit the Phantom Menace does have its flaws. The Trade Federation, as I was into it, but I can see why other people are like, oh my god, who cares about this trade tariffs and the blockade to Naboo? Like, who cares, right? And I also felt like I liked Jar Jar when I was a kid, but at the same time, it's just a little much. The voice especially is a little over the top. I feel like they could have made a comedic character without having it almost be like a Looney Tunes character, which is what Jar Jar comes off to me when I watch it now. Yes. Especially with his tongue. And admittedly, I think my least favorite thing about the Phantom Menace is definitely Jake Lloyd. I wish they took Haley Joel Osment. I heard he auditioned for this. Oh my God, Haley Joel Osment as Anakin, I think could have been much, much better. And I think it was important for us to care about Anakin. And for me, I honestly didn't like Jake Lloyd's performance that much. He was good in Jingle All the Way. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but put the cookie down. But aside from that movie, I feel like it was definitely lacking, especially knowing he becomes Darth Vader. That was definitely disappointing. So if I had to choose, I would probably take the blue pill here. But Ryan, what do you think? How can we stack these up more? You got anything for them?
Yeah, bro. I don't know what the hell it is, but Amelia Clark can't get a break without Game of Thrones, bro. She really can't get a break. First Terminator, now Star Wars. Shit. I feel really bad for that. Other than that, man, I got nothing else to say. I'm going Phantom Menace all the way. What about you, Loretto? Quick.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards Phantom Menace. Sorry, Amanda. But, ultimately, we are going to put this up as a poll. So make sure you go on Twitter and follow us at Movies Matrix Pod. It'll be Red Pill, Solo, a Star Wars story. Blue Pill, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Two very divisive films. Amanda, do you got anything going on your side with Candid Cinema or anything else? You want to plug anything?
Other than the action draft with you lovely people, I'm just working on a couple of interviews right now and hopefully get some screeners from a certain streaming service. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate you coming on to the show. Follow her at AMXNDA Reviews. Gabe, what you got going on? I know you have your own site, Film Opinionitis. Anything cooking right now?
Well, I wrote a review of the New Mutants recently, which I mean, not a lot of people are clicking on it, so it just makes me seem made me realize how much that movie was all about. The story about it was just the delays, 3 years delayed, and nobody really wanted to see it, or everybody's still afraid of COVID, or a combination of both. So if you want to see what I thought on that one, it's up. And just to this point, something that kept going through my brain when we were discussing Solo, is that to me, prequels, just sort of a closing, but I'll plug my article about it. Prequels are a difficult sell because you need to come up with a reason why they exist. And there are some characters that don't need to know why they became who they are. And I think that's the biggest problem with the Star Wars prequels trilogy, which is, knowing that Darth Vader was like whiny and, yippee, and, it's not good for the character, and nobody really wanted to see that, I think. As much as I like the prequels, in different levels. To that thing, I just think Solo is a completely reasonless prequel. And I wrote a pretty cool article about the recent Hunger Games prequel book, where I analyzed this need for a prequel and why we need an origin story for a villain or any character. And I think if we want to hear my thoughts a bit more broadly about that, you can read that article. The book is called A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it's up on my site. So that was a long plug. I'm sorry.
Awesome. By the way, I read your New Mutants review. We shared a lot of the same sentiments. That film had so much potential, and
Bro, don't spoil it for me.
What was that, right? Oh, I won't
spoil it for me.
I won't, man. But I just gotta say, after all this time, as a big X-Men fan, I just feel like what a blunder. Fox, I'm so glad they don't have the rights anymore. Can't wait to see them in the MCU. But hey, Gabe, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much. Ryan, you got anything going on your side?
No, but I do got something going on in Movies and Matrix coming this weekend, November 7th and 8th. We got the Movies and Matrix movie action draft coming up. We got Saturday night, 8 p.m. being hosted by Deebs, and then Sunday night, 8 p.m. being hosted by me. Me, Loretto, and Amanda will be Sunday. Gabe will be on Saturday. I really hope I got that correct, because if I didn't, I just look massively stupid right now. But that's my good character trait. But anyway, you guys should definitely go check that out. And don't forget to vote for which pill you'd rather take, Amanda's pill or Gabe's pill. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. And thank you guys so much for watching the show tonight. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.